A very warm welcome to you, our dear viewers. Welcome again to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going simply to be learning how to rank as number one in Google search. To do this, you need to first know how results are automatically generated in search engines. And this information is available, and I'm just going to be giving you in summary. Search algorithms look at many factors and signals, including the words of your query. So it's very important that you consider the words of your query, the relevance and usability of pages, expertise and sources, and of course your location and the settings you have. So the weight applied to each factor varies depending on the nature of your query. For example, the freshness of the content plays a bigger role in answering queries about current news topics than it does about dictionary and definitions. So, what is important when you want to rank as number one, apart from the obvious things of, have nice content and all that? Number one, you need to use Google autocomplete. So if we go to Google and type maybe a word like Nephilim, you'll notice we have Nephilim movie, Nephilim definition, and all that. So this is what we are calling Google autocomplete. So let's search for, assuming we are selling a product, let's type here shoes. You notice we have shoes for men, shoes for ladies, shoes Kenya, shoes images, and all this. So this is what we are calling Google autocomplete. So for you to rank high, you can make good use of Google autocomplete. So you notice the shoes for men is highly ranking than shoes sizes down here, or even shoe for boys. Let's try a different autocomplete. Let's just look for the word. So if I just search for the word clothes, you notice we have clothes we wear images, and clothes images, clothes in French, clothes drying rack. So those are autocomplete searches that we are talking about. So you can use this autocomplete to just know what is being searched more, because Google will depend on what has been searched to autocomplete depending on your first word. Let's search the word winter as the last example for autocomplete. You notice if we just search the winter, you notice we have winter 2024, winter season, winter wonderland, and then maybe if we want to sell something, you notice we have the winter jackets as highly ranking down here, and then we also have the winter Olympics later on. But you notice if you are selling something, then winter jackets might be a word that we may want to consider. So if you use the Google autocomplete to create your articles and blogs, you may have a higher hand in appearing in these searches. If we search on SEO generator and then we look for keyword generator tool, notice that down here, this is just an example of what you'll get. iPhone 13, the volume search was 3.4, and iPhone 12, the volume search was 1.6. So you may notice that you may want to use the iPhone 13 keyword search because of the high volume search, but you also need to consider things like how competitive that word is. The next thing you have to ensure is that you develop very high quality of content or amazing content. You simply create amazing content using your keywords. Now, how do you develop that? Nowadays, we even have artificial intelligence where you can help to and other tools that can help you develop high quality content. For instance, you can just add value to your content by adding the pros and the cons of maybe what you are searching about, and make sure you give new information. Now, the next thing you do is that you make sure is that you can optimize for user experience. Just optimize whatever content you have for user experience. For instance, if you go to this website, you notice that it's well arranged, looks so simple, yet so neat. But at the top here, you notice all these tabs here have super or mega menus. You notice they are all here, and this makes the user experience to be awesome, because if I need to know about individual, I can look for PIN registration, filing and paying, calculating the tax. If I want to do with business, companies and partnerships, I can look for not-for-profit, maybe registration for that. If I want to see the investors, I can just say here. So for you to also make sure that your content ranks as number one, you have to optimize for your user experience in your site, and this will help improve your content. In other words, don't hide your info. Just be brief and to the point. For instance, if you just click on this site, home, individuals, pin registration, and then we just click on pin registration and come to pin cancellation, you notice that this user experience is very friendly. You notice here about pin, you can request for pin cancellation of your pin tax obligation, and then you are given the steps in a very nice way. Login, registration, tax obligation, then give the reasons, and then you simply submit. That's what we are calling optimize your user experience, because if Google senses that people are staying longer on your site, that may help them to also rank you higher. But if a person comes to your site, they don't understand how your content is, then they may leave the page so quickly, and that will affect your ranking on the negative. The next thing is that you have to have your content in a nice layout. So let's just come back to the same pin registration, or actually pin cancellation. Look at that layout. They have used a very simple layout to explain how you can have your pin cancellation. And this is the same thing you need for you to rank as number one in Google. Just have a very nice layout. Use images, use words, use bullet points so that users can stay on your site and they can understand your work better, which will increase your ranking. If a person just clicks on your site and stays there for seconds, then that may not help your ranking. So look at this one. Number one, written in red, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. So you have a clear picture. These are just 5 steps. The first step, login, has a picture there. Then registration has a picture there. Tax obligation with a nice simple picture or icon, and all that including the submit. And then you notice here we have other details, very simply written. So don't hide any information. Just go straight to the point. You notice here, like you may be required to provide supporting documents. You should continue filing your returns and paying taxes until you receive an official communication that your PIN has been cancelled. So in other words, just optimize for your user experience. Make sure that people enjoy coming to your site. Finally, if you have a site where people have to ask questions and respond, make sure you basically engage your clients very fast. So for instance, if you have to run content on social media, make sure that that engagement on your site is easily responded to. And if it's a site that is not really a social media, you notice that mostly you'll have social media platforms added here. So it's good that when people reach out to you in the social media, offer the help that they need, and if they are satisfied, they are most likely going back to your site. They are most likely going to refer other people if you're selling a product and you give them nice customer service. So those are some of the things that can help you rank high on Google. So I hope this has been helpful. Kindly like this video, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.